On one side, we have Kong, the giant titan of the MonsterVerse, who has even pushed Godzilla, an alpha titan, to his limits. And on the other side, Marvel's Hulk, who becomes more dangerous and powerful the angrier he gets. Now imagine this. If 5-foot-tall Kong and Hulk faced each other on the battlefield, could Hulk actually defeat Kong? Or would Kong's massive size, incredible strength, and battle axe be enough to crush Hulk? Because the winner of this fight wouldn't be decided by strength alone. Hulk has an ability that could completely change the battle. The longer the fight continues, the more dangerous and powerful Hulk can become. So let's compare both of them and find out who is truly more powerful. And in the end, we'll find out who the actual winner would be. So subscribe to the channel and let's find out. First, raw strength. Let's talk about Kong's physical strength. Underestimating Kong here would be a huge mistake. Kong has repeatedly proven in the MonsterVerse that he is far more than just an ordinary titan. On Skull Island, he faced countless giant creatures. He even ripped the jaws off skullcrawlers with his bare hands, as if they were nothing more than ordinary titans. And considering that Kong's parents were killed by skullcrawlers, his strength had reached an entirely different level by the time he became an adult. And during his battles with Godzilla, Kong repeatedly held his own in close combat. He pushed Godzilla back, countered his attacks, and physically challenged him on multiple occasions. But against Mechagodzilla, Kong showed an incredible combination of raw strength and the battle axe. He even used Godzilla's atomic breath to recharge the axe and ultimately defeated Mechagodzilla, one of Godzilla's greatest threats. But now, let's look at Hulk's physical strength. Hulk has directly withstood attacks from Thor in the MCU. He has physically overpowered massive enemies, while vehicles and military equipment are practically nothing to him. He even launched Ultron a huge distance with a single powerful hit, and Hulk's most dangerous ability is that his strength isn't fixed. The angrier Hulk gets, the more powerful he becomes. So, when it comes to pure physical strength between Kong and Hulk, Hulk has the greater advantage. Second size comparison. Now, this is where the game completely changes, because while Hulk is approximately 8 feet tall, the latest version of MonsterVerse Kong stands around 335 feet tall. That means there is a massive difference in size between them. Now, imagine Hulk standing in front of Kong, ready to fight. Kong might barely even notice Hulk, because compared to Kong, Hulk would be a relatively tiny target, but that doesn't mean Hulk would be helpless. Hulk's strength isn't proportional to his size. He is far more powerful than his physical size would suggest. Even so, on the battlefield, Kong would have a clear advantage. He could grab Hulk, throw him around, and use his enormous reach to keep Hulk at a distance. So, when it comes to size, Kong wins. Third, durability comparison. Now things get extremely interesting. We know Kong is incredibly powerful, but his body isn't completely invincible. Kong has suffered serious injuries throughout his battles. Whenever Kong fought Godzilla, Godzilla's attacks caused him significant damage. He also took heavy damage during his battle against Mechagodzilla. And Kong generally needs to finish his fights relatively quickly because a prolonged battle can become increasingly dangerous for him. But if we look at Hulk, Hulk has repeatedly survived explosions, gunfire, energy attacks, and massive physical impacts. During his battle with Hulkbuster, Hulk survived an unbelievable amount of punishment. Even Thor's attacks were unable to permanently stop him. And Hulk was even able to recover after being exposed to the power of an Infinity Stone. So, damaging Hulk is one thing, but permanently stopping him is an entirely different challenge. Because of that, Hulk clearly wins the durability comparison.
Puny God.
Fourth, healing and recovery comparison. Now Hulk becomes even more dangerous and powerful. Hulk's body can recover from incredible amounts of damage, and his transformation itself gives him a major advantage. Kong, however, doesn't have the same level of regeneration. If Kong continues taking serious damage, his performance will eventually drop. And if the damage becomes too severe, Kong could even be killed. But Hulk, he can keep fighting, and if his rage continues to increase throughout the battle, the situation becomes even more difficult for Kong. So when it comes to recovery and regeneration, Kong simply can't match Hulk. Hulk wins this round. Fifth, intelligence and battle IQ. This is where Kong gets his biggest advantage. Because Kong isn't just powerful, he's an intelligent fighter. He observes the battlefield, creates plans, and uses objects around him as weapons. He also studies his opponent's attacks and changes his strategy accordingly. We saw a great example of this in Godzilla vs. Kong. Kong used his battle axe against Godzilla instead of simply trying to overpower him with punches. Kong doesn't just blindly attack his opponent. He observes and understands which attacks are dangerous, then develops a strategy to counter them. We also saw this against Mechagodzilla, where Kong used weapon-based combat to gain an advantage. Now, Hulk has a major difference. When Hulk enters a completely enraged state, instinct tends to dominate over strategy. Of course, Bruce Banner is highly intelligent, and Professor Hulk is even more intelligent. But in a pure Savage Hulk versus Kong scenario, Kong has the greater battle intelligence, and that could allow Kong to use strategy to outsmart Hulk. Kong wins this round. Sixth, speed and agility. Now, many people might assume that a 5 foot 6-foot-tall Kong would be extremely slow. But look at MonsterVerse Kong. Despite his massive size, he is surprisingly agile. He can jump, move around buildings, dodge attacks from massive creatures, and cover incredible distances using his powerful legs. Hulk is also extremely agile. He can make massive jumps, move through buildings and mountainous terrain, and suddenly close the distance between himself and his opponent. So when it comes to pure mobility, both of them are extremely dangerous. But Kong's enormous size gives him greater reach and battlefield control. So Kong takes this round as well. 7th, weapons. Now, if Kong has his battle axe, the fight becomes even more interesting. Because the battle axe isn't just an ordinary weapon, it gives Kong extra reach and additional destructive power in close combat. And Kong knows how to use this weapon effectively. Hulk, on the other hand, doesn't have a weapon. His body is his greatest weapon. His punches, grabs, throws, and powerful impacts are all extremely dangerous and can cause massive destruction. But if Kong enters the fight with his battle axe, Hulk has to deal with a gigantic weapon on top of Kong's already incredible strength. And that gives Kong another major advantage in this fight. But this is where Hulk's biggest advantage begins. So far, Kong has had the upper hand in several categories: size, intelligence, weapons, speed, and agility. But Hulk has one ability that could completely change the outcome of the entire fight, and that ability is rage. The angrier Hulk gets, the more his strength and power can increase, which means the more Kong pushes Hulk and makes him angry, the harder it could become for Kong to defeat him. In other words, if Kong repeatedly attacks Hulk at the beginning of the fight, he might actually make Hulk even more powerful instead of weakening him, and that could become Kong's biggest problem. Now imagine this. The fight between Kong and Hulk begins. Kong uses his enormous size advantage to grab Hulk and throws him hundreds of feet away. Hulk comes charging back, Kong attacks him again, and Hulk becomes even angrier. Then, Hulk makes a massive jump and attacks Kong with a direct punch to the face. Kong catches him and slams him into the ground like Surtur, but Hulk gets back up, and this time, Hulk is even angrier. But then, Kong uses his battle axe and launches Hulk a massive distance, leaving him injured, but Hulk quickly recovers. And this is where the fight takes a major turn, because up until this point, Kong has been relying on his physical strength, while Hulk's rage has been continuously increasing. So if the fight ends quickly, Kong's chances of winning are extremely high. But if the fight continues for a long time, Hulk's increasing rage could make him far more dangerous. So if I had to divide their abilities based on these categories: size Kong, intelligence Kong, weapons Kong, battlefield control Kong, but durability Hulk, recovery Hulk, long-term strength potential Hulk. So we can say that both of them have areas where they are significantly more powerful than the other, which means if Kong wants to defeat Hulk, everything depends on one thing: how quickly can Kong finish the fight? Because if Hulk survives long enough, Kong may eventually reach a point where he simply can't stop him. Now it's your turn. Who do you think would win in Kong versus Hulk? Kong's raw Titan strength or Hulk's limitless rage? Comment Kong or Hulk below. And if you want the next video to feature another MonsterVerse Titan against one of Marvel's strongest characters, let me know in the comments.